What's going on, boys? Welcome back. Today's topic, you need a story that makes you confident, actually comes from this book right here that I've read, The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. Bartlett. Yeah, I'm probably butchering that word. Bartlett. But yeah, anyway, saving myself from further embarrassment. Welcome back. This topic hits home hard for me. Have you ever been asked the question, hey, what do you do? Or what's interesting about you? What are your hobbies? What did you do last week? And you haven't really had anything worth answering with. Nothing that you felt proud about. I've had that many times during my life where I've been stuck in ruts and maybe I've met new people. Maybe I'm getting into a conversation through customer service, working at hospitality places, whatnot, working with family, speaking to friends that I haven't spoken to in a long time. And the question is like, what did you get up to last week? And I'd be like, nothing. But it's a lie. Actually, what I did is I spent the entire week indoors in my home, stuck, no fresh air, no sunlight, no healthy eating habits. I just played video games from morning to night, and I smoked weed, and I scrolled, and I wasted time. But I just say nothing because I'm very embarrassed. I would be very embarrassed and guilty and shameful about saying what I actually did. And this is true, by the way. So I say nothing. But even nothing is just depressing. It's nothing to be excited about. It's like, whatever. And you know what happens? When you say, oh, I did nothing, your brain is like, oh, he did nothing. That means he is the kind of person that does nothing. There is a part of our brain that always tries to stick to or create kind of identities. It tries to label things, and the thing it labels the most is ourselves and other people. And it needs to do this. It's called the ego. It needs to do this to essentially stay alive. But it's a very defensive, it's a protective mechanism. Long story short, our ego likes to label things, okay? The way it does is, oh yeah, but he's not muscly enough. Oh yeah, but my hairstyle is better. Yeah, that's fine, but I know more than you do. Oh, he's weird because he does this thing which I don't approve of. Why do you do it this way when I do it this way and my way is obviously better? Our ego just wants to be right, because when it's right, it's safe. When it's not right, when it's wrong, it is feeling threatened. When we tell ourselves this and we tell other people this, where it's like, hey, what did you get up to last week? Oh, nothing. Our ego is like, yo, wait, what? Are we like, are we the kind of person that does nothing? And in your subconscious, your personality, the identity that you tell yourself, and other people doesn't actually match what you're doing in real life. You might meet a girl, you might meet somebody and try to impress them and say like, oh, I like to go to the beach and I'm a surfer and I actually skate and, I do these kind of things. I play the guitar, but the truth is you haven't done any of these things in months. And the last few weeks, you've just been spending at home playing video games, which again, this is a true story, by the way. This is what I used to do. And the disconnect from what I'm telling other people and myself, what I'm hearing from the words coming out of my mouth, and the reality of my life, it didn't match up. And there was now a massive conflict between the person I'm saying that I am and the person that I actually am. And this was killing me. This was causing massive confidence issues. This was ruining my self-image. This was causing negative self-talk. Because my brain, my ego, my mind, whatever, it was now saying like, yo, Thailand, you've just met this girl and you told her that you like to do this thing. You told her that you're ambitious and you want to be a YouTuber, but you're lying to her, right? Why don't you just tell her the truth? Why don't you just tell her you're a loser? Why don't you just say that, bro? Because I mean, look at your life. You can say this thing, but it's only bullshit. You're only saying shit. You're not actually doing anything. Look at your life, bro. Just tell her the truth. Tell her that you are worthless, that she does not deserve you because, or you do, wait, is that right? You do not deserve her because you're just a pile of shit and you're a liar and you don't actually believe in yourself. These are the thoughts that I literally had running in my mind every single day. And it's, again, true story. I lost relationships because of this, because I was meeting these people, making friends, meeting girls, and I was the person that I was with them was the best version of myself. But at home, when they didn't see me, I was a pile of shit. I was a wreck. I was not who I said I was, and that was ruining me. And this always ruined my confidence whenever people would ask me, oh, at work, because I do customer service and I'm charismatic. I like to talk to people and get into conversations. Sometimes I'd be asked, oh, so what are your plans? And I'd be like, just here for now. Oh, so what's your future plans? What do you plan to do? Oh, I don't know, just here for now. I don't feel particularly proud about saying that, guys. Do you? I don't. And I'm not saying this so that, I've just started my own business and yeah, guys, I make $200,000 a month and look at you, peasant. No. That's going back into the ego thing. We're feeding the ego now with something else. And as soon as that gets threatened, we're back to square one. We're not talking about that. We're talking about ourselves. The self-image, the identity that we have for ourselves. We're talking about the negative thoughts in our mind. The reason why we have these negative thoughts is because when we go to bed at night and we're tired and we're overstimulated and we just want to go to bed, and when our mind is the loudest, all it spits back is negative programming. It's like, yo, you're a worthless piece of shit. You say you're a winner, but the last time you recorded a YouTube video was 4 weeks ago. You say you do fitness, but you haven't been to the gym in 2 weeks. You say you eat healthy, but you haven't done this in 5 months. Again, this is a true story from my own life and experiences. So, yeah, I mean, you are worthless. You're a liar. These are the voices that I had in my mind, and it sucks. And this is why we need a good self-story. Absolutely. This is a self-story we not only need to repeat to ourselves over and over again, but live up to as well. The way I do this, and I've been thinking about this, I've had this concept in my mind because I read this book about a few months ago, and I've been reading it on and off, right? I come back to I've probably read the chapter a few times. I come back to the book quite often. And the self-story that I like to tell myself is I'm nothing so that I can be everything. Now, this is going to sound a bit woo-woo, right? But I'll explain it in very simple terms, and I'm planning on making a video about this later, is when I'm nothing, it means that my mind is free from labels. I'm free from identity and labels. I'm not just an engineer. I'm not just a YouTuber. I'm not just a hospitality customer service agent. If I'm nothing and nobody, I can be anything and anybody whenever I want. Does that make sense? When I'm empty of labels, I can be filled up with labels. But when I'm full of labels, there's no more room for more. So I like to tell myself I'm nothing and I'm nobody, and I always tell myself afterwards so that I can be anything and anybody. All it takes is a bit of will and a bit of commitment. And so when people ask me, this is the story I tell myself, that like little motivational. So people will ask me like, oh, what else do you do? Or what's your kind of thing, I tell them, look, simply something around the lines of, and this I haven't really structured quite well, and maybe you can, maybe you don't have to, but I'm natural enough to just be able to talk in conversations. But I think when I did first start this out, I actually used to repeat this in my journal many times to myself. You know, I used to tell myself in my journal, whenever I was down low, I'm a warrior king in the making. I'm the prince. I'm the king. I'm this. I'm that. To not inflate my ego, but feel some sense of worth. You see, this isn't about ego, guys. This is about worth, self-worth. And yeah, if you ever came from a spot where you didn't have self-worth, this exercise is going to help you. You can do what I did, writing and repeating to yourself these and trying to live up to that expectation, but also the self-story of, I eat healthy. I am a guy who runs a YouTube channel, who loves working for himself, yada, 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 whatever it is for you. A similar story that I tell people when, they ask me what my story is. I work in the family business. I love my family. I'm a family guy and I love working for myself. So I'm a storyteller. I love talking to people. And that's why I love doing YouTube. I'm a YouTuber on the side. I plan to grow my YouTube, yada, 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 and become a YouTuber and work for myself, whatever it is. Whatever that story is, it is better than saying, oh, I don't know, or nothing, or I don't have an idea, or I'm just existing now. Because when you say that to yourself, your brain hears it, you hear it yourself, and you can't help but feel a bit low. But when you say something you're proud of, I am a YouTuber, I'm a martial artist, I'm working on achieving this goal. Oh, that's actually the thing I was going to say. When people ask you about your story, you can tell them about the goals you're planning to achieve as well. So I'm planning on becoming a YouTuber in the fitness space and opening up my own cafe business and moving to Bondi Beach and living there full time. For example, that's just an example. Or I'm planning to go to Bali and open up a restaurant and live there and build villas. You can tell them your goal as well. How much better, how much more self-worth and pride and some energy, some vitality do you have behind saying that, as opposed to, oh, I don't know, or nothing, or I haven't figured it out yet. And if you haven't figured it out yet, what you can tell yourself, or what you can set as a goal is, oh, I don't know yet, but it is my goal to figure out exactly what I want from life, so I'm trying everything and anything possible. And that's an important concept I talk about in this channel, and it makes up one of my core tenets for lifestyle is 18 to 20 is the pre-season. This is the time when we should fuck up and fail as often as we can, try as many different things as we can, and just improve as many skill trees as we can to become a well-rounded, developed man by our 30s who knows exactly what they want from life, and they've got the foundations built for that. So you can rest easy knowing that you've made a great investment, and every day that you live up to a good standard and you attack your goals and you do, your good habits, whatever, you rest easy knowing that you're making a positive investment that 5-10 years, when you get to your 30s, is going to pop off heaps. And so that firstly makes me feel better and gives me a chance in this race. And so I'm like, fuck yeah, all right, I've got time. I'm going to build. I'm going to take my time. That quote from the movie or whatever, that scene, fuck you, watch this. That's what, you got to tell yourself that, man. When shit gets tough, I'm telling you, when you go down low and thoughts come in and it's negative, these are the kind of things that gets you up, because nobody else kind of supports you this way. That's what I felt, at least. Many nights just going to bed, not being able to sleep, rolling around for hours and hours simply because of the thoughts that I had in my mind and the negative thoughts that affected me. So that's the kind of thing that helped me. And the self-story is something that I repeat to myself quite often. I have many journals. Matter of fact, you can see maybe underneath this shelf is all journals. I've filled out around about 10 to 12. And I've repeated to myself many times, whenever I was down low, whenever my state was high, neutral, whatever, always that same self-story. Of course, it's changed, it's evolved, and it will. So don't try to find the perfect self-story. Matter of fact, just write one out right now, if you can. But But that keeps you on track, man. It keeps you focused, it keeps you dialed in. It reminds you of your potential. It reminds you of who you want to be, and it keeps you guided. You know, the way on the path, on the journey to our desired self and reality, it's like sailing through the ocean. Sometimes you're going to get blown off course. So we need to use the tools that we have to get back on course. And things like this will allow us to get back on course. That self-story that we repeat to ourselves, fixing our self-image and living up to the things that we do say. You know, when I meet people and I tell them I'm a YouTuber, immediately I feel like doing more YouTube. And when I have, matter of fact, funny enough, if I haven't done YouTube in a while, like if I haven't uploaded a video in a while, when people ask me this question, I don't tell them I'm a YouTuber. But for example, I've been recording for the past few days. People ask me and I tell them, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I do YouTube. You know, I feel more confident. I feel more proud about saying that. I actually believe it when I say that. Does that make sense? Or when people ask me, oh, do you go to the gym? And I tell them, and I haven't been to the gym in a few weeks, I tell them, yeah, you know, sometimes here and there. But if I have been going consistently and people ask me, I tell them, yeah, man, I love the gym. I go every day, every few days. This is my routine. This is what I get up to. And I feel proud about that. And I feel confident and my self-image improves and therefore my state, my energy improves. And I feel like, oh yeah, you know, I'm ready to take on the day. Let's go. I feel proud knowing that I'm getting closer to the dream person that I want to be. And that's an amazing feeling, guys. That's like, you know, when it gets lonely, when you're in this, when you're working alone, when you're doing the long shifts, you're working night shifts. You know, I used to work and I still do 11-hour shifts into the night, come back home late. You know, I can't wake up early, whatnot. When you're doing this thing and you're doing it alone, this is the kind of thing, positive self-talk is the kind of thing that gets you going, guys. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, consider liking and commenting because honestly, it helps the content, it helps the channel a lot, and we can possibly grow this audience and find other like-minded guys. I want to build up this audience as a kind of, as being like an elder brother for you. You know, I'm 23 now, I'll be 24 in 3-4 months. This channel was based on the lifestyle advice I would give to my 18-year-old self who just graduated and is thrown out to the new world, to the open world RPG game, and knows absolutely nothing about life and how to go. This is the advice that I would give him. So that's where this channel has been created from. So hope it helps. Hope you like the content. I'll see you guys next time.